Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing today? My name's Ian, and I'm the owner of Right Start Newcomer Services. So join us. Thank you for joining us today. We will be learning Canadian English, and today's topic is workplace culture. So hopefully that's interesting for you. I'm doing my best to make these lessons interesting, useful, and fun. So before we begin, I'd just like to say a couple things. Right Start Newcomer Services conducts business in Chibuktuk, which is how you say Halifax in the Mi'kmaq language. This city is part of the ancestral unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq people. This means that when settlers came, the Indigenous people did not surrender their territory and instead signed treaties with Europeans. As a business, we're committed to upholding these treaties as we continue to build relations between settlers, newcomers, and Mi'kmaq people. And I would just like to point out that today is National Indigenous Persons Day in Canada. So this is a day where we can really learn about, honor, and respect Indigenous people in Canada. So if you're watching, say hi. I see we have a couple of viewers. So Rodrigo, hey Rodrigo, long time no see, man. How's it going? Yeah, unfortunately I had to cancel last Thursday's class. So we're back here today. Everything's fine, don't worry about it. And I'm really happy to be back. It seems like it's been a long time since I've seen you guys. So I'm really happy to be here. Nice to see you, Rodrigo. Let me just show Rodrigo's comment. There's Rodrigo. Doing very well, I hope. Rodrigo, what's going on? And Luis, hey Luis, how's it going? Also great to see you again too. So hope you guys are doing well. Hope you're working hard on your English, and hopefully we'll learn some English together. So let's get into today's lesson. Anybody else who jumps in, please say hello. There'll be lots of chances for us to interact, answer some questions, give our feedback, try out our English a little bit. And of course, ask questions, you guys. So if you have any questions about what I say, what I don't say, any English question at all, basically you guys can ask me, and that's one of the big reasons why I'm here. I see Edwin's here too. Hey Edwin, how's it going? Good morning, good to see you. Hope you had a good weekend. I hope the weather's good there and everything is on the right track in your life. Okay, great. So I thought this would be a really interesting topic to talk about Canadian workplace culture. So I know some of you guys might not be in Canada right now, but you may come someday. Maybe you just want to practice your English, and this will be a good place for you guys to learn that as well. So the plan for today's class, we'll be together for about 45 minutes to an hour. First, we're going to have a little warm-up discussion about Canadian workplace culture. We're going to learn some new words, hopefully, because a really important aspect of Canadian workplace culture or any workplace is nonverbal communication. So you guys are going to have to watch a few videos of me and say what I'm saying without saying anything. Okay, so that should be pretty fun, pretty interesting. And we're going to move on and do some practice later. So we're going to get you guys to answer some questions to express things in the way that you think is best. So basically, we're going to do 4 things. We're going to practice a greeting. We're going to practice apologizing. We're going to practice asking for something. And we're going to practice reporting a coworker. So we're going to get lots of practice, lots of new vocabulary, and we'll have some good discussion to start us off. So if you guys want to type in, so get your fingers warmed up on this Monday morning, think about these things. So number 1, what's your workplace like? So if you're working now, what is it like? Is it big, small? What is it like at work? You know, do you have a good relationship with your coworkers and boss? Is it a formal workplace? Do you have to dress up? Can you wear t-shirt and jeans? So right now, if you're working, what is it like? If you're not working now, what was it like in your last workplace? Okay, was it a fun place to work or was it boring? Was it challenging or difficult? Okay, so think of some things that you can say about your last workplace, and I'd love to hear about it. If you guys don't say anything, I'll just keep talking, and nobody wants that, right? So say something. What was your workplace like now, or what was your workplace like before? Second question is, have you ever worked in Canada? So maybe you have, maybe you haven't. Let us know if you have ever worked in Canada, and that will give me a better idea of how to talk to you during today's lesson. Number 3, how is a Canadian workplace different from what you're used to? So maybe you do work in Canada, maybe you've heard about Canada. What do you think it's like here? So is it relaxed? Is it fun? Is it difficult? What do you think about Canada? And then finally, what is your ideal or perfect workplace? Maybe you want to work from home. Maybe you want to work, for yourself. So what type of workplace are you looking for when you look for a job? Okay, great. So let me know, answer any one or all of those questions. You can answer in any order you want. And I want to hear what you guys have to say. So Rodrigo says, nowadays I have homework. What do you mean homework? Homework for work? And what kind of homework are you getting there, Rodrigo? So, or are you a student? So I'm a little confused. Are you a student or are you working? If you're working, what kind of homework do you get from work? Okay, good English though. I have nothing to correct about that. So for me, I have my own business now, but before I worked in many different workplaces, quite a few of them in Canada. So I think I've had, 5, 6, 7 jobs here in Canada. They've ranged from very informal. I used to work in a landscaping company. We used to, work outside with our hands all the time. So we didn't dress up. We didn't wear ties, suits, anything like that. But then, I've worked in more formal workplaces where we had a dress code. I had to wear pants, no jeans. Sometimes I wore a tie. I don't know which I preferred. I kind of miss getting dirty at work, getting in the mud. I'm kind of sick of, getting dressed up. So, that's why when I have my own business now, I don't wear a tie. I don't wear a nice shirt. I do shower. I continue that tradition. So let's see what you guys have to say. So Edwin said something. So nowadays I self-employed, market trade, but I worked 20 years at financial markets. Very interesting, Edwin. I also am very interested in finance. So nowadays I am, so you're missing the word am. I am self-employed. And your job, I would say you are a market trader or a stock market trader, we might say. But I worked for 20 years at financial markets. Okay, good. So just a couple corrections there. Very interesting, Edwin. So you work for yourself now, you're self-employed, but you used to work in maybe a bank or financial institution. Okay, very interesting, Edwin. Thank you for sharing. Bay, hey Bay, how's it going? It's been a while, so hopefully you're doing well down in Brazil. Okay, what else do we have here? Rodrigo says, work from home, sorry. No apologies needed, my friend. So you are working now, you're working from home. What's it like? Do you like working from home? Because I know a lot of people in Canada love working from home, right? We love sitting at home, wearing pajamas, taking a break when we want. Our boss is not right behind us looking over our shoulder. So a lot of people really, really like working from home. Some people don't. And, those people can't wait to go back to the office. But, the people who like working from home, I think it's going to be hard to get them to go back into the office, when summertime is finished in the fall, once this coronavirus thing gets under control. So no apologies needed, Rodrigo. You're doing great. Luis says, actually, my workplace is so big, I have never worked in Canada, but I'd like to. Let's say I'd like to, Luis. Ja, ja, ja. So I think that is like the Spanish way to write ha, ha, ha. We would write, here. Here's the English spelling of ha, ha, ha. So this is how we would spell ha, ha, ha. So instead of the J, we would spell it with H. Ha, ha, ha. Either is fine, right? If you want to write ja, 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 then, it's a free world. So go for it. Sorry, I got into the middle of it, Luis, and you said my ideal workplace would be a remotely way at home. So you're one of the people who would like to work remotely from home. Me, I'm sort of in the middle. I love working from home. I love being with my family, but I miss the office. I miss my coworkers and friends at the office. We like to fool around, have a good time, and it breaks up the day a little bit. Instead of always being at home in my office or in my room, I'm out, I'm doing things, I'm driving to work, I'm coming back. But I can see both sides. Okay, thank you for sharing, Luis. Good job. Edwin, I'm self-employed, a trader. Thanks. No problem. I'm glad to correct that for you. Rodrigo says, my ideal workplace would be like nearby a lake in Canada, remote working, peaceful breakfast and coffee. Oh, that sounds great. My wife also loves lakes. She loves swimming, so she wants to move to a lake. Maybe we can be lake neighbors, Rodrigo. I'll sit on this side of the lake, you sit on the other side, and then we can take our canoe across the lake and have coffee together. Okay, great. Ha ha ha, no problem, Luis. Okay, so you corrected that too. And Carla's here. Hi, Carla. Hi, good morning. How are you doing, Carla? Welcome to today's class. We are talking about workplace culture in Canada. Okay, great. So anytime you want, Carla, ask a question, answer a question. This is supposed to be very participatory, which means everybody should take part as you want, right? If you want to sit there and watch, that's cool. If you want to type questions every 2 seconds, that's cool too. So whatever you're comfortable with, I want you to be happy, and I want you all to learn something from this class. Okay, so I think we've discussed those. What's your workplace like? Maybe you work from home, maybe from the office. Have you ever worked in Canada? Has anybody? I know I have, but maybe some of you have too. How is a Canadian workplace different? So if you don't know what to expect in a Canadian workplace, there's a few things I think you should know. It is pretty relaxed in most cases. So pretty informal, pretty relaxed. You call your boss by their first name instead of Mr. Smith or Mrs. Jones. What else? Dress codes. Every company has a dress code. You need to learn it before you start working there, right? If you work in a bank, you probably wear a suit. If you work as a teacher, maybe, just a dress shirt is okay without a tie. So really, it depends where you work. Make sure you find out. But in Canada, there's a very low tolerance for things like harassment, sexual harassment, racism, and discrimination in the workplace. So you do have to be very careful what you say, because saying something, even if you think that is a little thing, you can get fired and you can get in a lot of trouble, and it's very disrespectful to your coworkers. So I think everybody should know that before you start working here in Canada. And your ideal workplace, that will vary for different people. I like maybe 50-50, working from home and working from the office. That would be my ideal type of work situation. Okay, let's move on. Let's talk a little bit about body language. So I was thinking, how can we have our lesson today? Because body language and nonverbal communication is so important, I thought we would spend a bit of time talking about that. So body language refers to all nonverbal methods of communication. So everything not done with your mouth or typing or writing is considered body language or nonverbal communication. 70 to 93% of communication is nonverbal. So this means we get a lot of information by reading somebody's expressions, their gestures, what they do with their hands, even their sounds, right? They might not be saying words, but they're saying something with their sounds. So body language is very important in the workplace. It's very important you know what you are saying with your body and what other people are saying with their bodies. And it can be the difference between getting a job, not getting a job. If you don't understand Canadian body language, you might have trouble in a Canadian workplace. So we do have another comment here from Edwin. Hey, Edwin, my home is my workplace. I wear unusual clothes. Okay, like what? Like a clown outfit or a Santa costume? I don't know. You'll have to tell me about your unusual clothes. Back when I worked at banks, I wore a suit all day. Okay, good. Pretty good English, Edwin. Let's say I wore. So you want to say I wore a suit. Yeah, so just spelling, W-O-R-E is the past tense of wear. So instead of what you said warned. Let's say I wore, W-O-R-E, a suit all day, every day. Okay, very good, Edwin. Thank you for sharing. All right, this is going to be fun. I had some fun filming this morning. So let's go to the next page. Basically, for each one, I did something with body language. So watch the video. It's very short. It's very stupid. Tell me what I'm doing and what I'm saying. So even though I'm not using words, I'm saying something with my body language. So what am I doing? Number one, and what am I saying? Let's watch the first one. Okay, so what is this? What is this called? And what is it saying to the other person? Does anybody know the word for this? I'll step back a bit. Huh? I just noticed my shirt is see-through. That's pretty cool. You can see right through me. So what is this? And what is it saying to the other person? Taking a selfie. Yeah, I was taking a selfie, but I meant with this. What are my hands doing? No, that's not what I mean, Rodrigo. Recording a video. You're right, I did record a video. I did take a selfie. But what is the body language? What am I doing? When I put my shoulders up, hands out. I don't even know if I can rewind. Oh, yeah, I can. All right, watch again. Oh, I think Bay gets the idea. Okay, so Javier got it. Hi, you're saying you don't know something. Bay says you don't know something, you don't know something, and Luis says something. Yes, I don't know. I don't know, right? So we call this in English a shrug. Let me write it in here. Shrug. Maybe this is a new word for you. Okay, new word. This is a shrug. If you shrug, you're showing the other person you don't know what they're saying, you don't know the answer, you don't know something. So, new word, shrug. So, think about this. If you're in a job interview, something like that, and you shrug, it's just saying that you don't know the answer, you don't know what they're saying. Might be considered a little bit rude. I don't know. Depends on the shrug, depends on the situation. Depends if you're smiling, but, shrug, it's used in the workplace a lot to say you don't know something. And if you shrug too much in a job interview, you're probably not going to get the job because you look like you don't know what you're talking about. Okay, now you get it. Let's move on to the next one. Oh, what was that? Oh, that was the last one. Okay, here's that one again. Okay, what did I do and what does it mean? Here, I'll make it a bit larger so everybody can see it. So maybe I moved my eyes. Well, where am I? So I moved my eyes. What would we call that? Rodrigo says, assuming something known by everybody, right? Yeah. That's sort of what I meant. So what did I do? We call this my, does anybody know? So when Rodrigo's right, when something is known by everybody, when somebody says something stupid, right? I might do that. We would call that, hey, very good, Bay. I knew you would get it, rolling eyes. When you roll your eyes, means that you're saying that somebody is stupid, they should know something, somebody's being a dummy. So you do roll your eyes. I have to be really careful about rolling my eyes because I do it quite a bit, but it's very rude, right? I don't want to do it in front of my boss or the wrong person. So be careful about rolling your eyes. Sometimes it just happens, but you have to be very careful not to do it too much. And Javier said it's called rolling your eyes when someone says something obvious. Good. Spelling obvious, O-B-V-I-O-U-S. I-O-U-S. And then you got it. So we call it rolling your eyes. Exactly. Moving on. Let's see this one. I'll make it a little bit larger. Oh, what does it mean when you put your finger up? So what does that nonverbal communication mean? Okay, I'll give you a second to think about that. So put your finger up. Okay, that's not I'm not the best actor, right? So maybe it's my fault that it's not so obvious. A warning could be. Sometimes we put our finger up. Oh, you're in trouble. I'm warning you. Step away. Usually we put it sideways. You listen to me, buddy. I'm gonna get you in big trouble and you're gonna be fired. So if we turn our finger sideways, you're right, it's a warning. But if we put it front ways, like that, it means wait, right? I think Edwin got it. So waiting for 1 minute. Wait 1 minute? Exactly. So that's what I was going for. Giving a rude opinion or attention could be maybe an idea. Oh, I have an idea. Listen to me, boss. So maybe that. So I think it depends my expression, right? If I'm angry, oh, Rodrigo, you came late to work 3 days this week. You're going to be in big trouble. Then that means it's a warning. If you turn it sideways and go, oh, wait 1 minute. Maybe that's what it means. Maybe I have an idea. Oh, I just thought of something cool. And then it's an idea. So this one I just learned can mean a few different things, depending on the position, my expression, and the situation. So that's a very good thing to think about. Things can change depending on what's going on. So you made me learn something today. Let's do a couple more and then we'll move on. Oh, what did I do? Maybe I didn't sleep so well. So what did I do? And what am I saying? One more time. I know that's it's not the best shot of the inside of my mouth. I'm sorry. So what did I do? And what is it saying to the other person? Okay, we got it. Rodrigo, yawn, boring. The other person is boring. I'm bored by that person. This is a good learning moment. So there's two words in English. One is boring and the other is bored, B-O-R-E-D. Both of them are adjectives to describe either a feeling or a person or situation. So when we say, I am bored, bored means the feeling, right? The feeling of boredom, right? I am bored. Oh, this movie is so boring. I feel bored. Okay. Boring, B-O-R-I-N-G, is used to describe a person, a thing, a movie, a book, something is boring, meaning that boring thing makes me feel bored, right? So a lot of people get confused. A lot of students get confused between bored and boring. They say, oh, I am so boring. No, well, maybe you are boring, but you mean to say that you are bored. The situation is boring. The job is boring. The boss is boring, but you feel bored. So remember that, B-O-R-E-D, you are bored. You're probably not boring. That's not what you actually want to say. Okay, so we got it. I'm bored. So he said boring. Remember, I'm not boring. I'm bored. The situation is boring. My boss is boring. My job is boring, but I am bored. Just like tired, T-I-R-E-D, bored, B-O-R-E-D. I'm bored. I'm tired. I'm sleepy. Okay, very good. So there's a learning moment. We already said that. We said boring, maybe hungry too. Yeah, I am hungry. How did you know, Luis? Tired, maybe boring. Again, I'm bored. Right, Edwin? I'm not bored. I'm not boring, I hope. I don't know. You wouldn't be watching if I was too boring. Right? So I'm bored. The job is boring. The boss is boring. Okay. Rodrigo, maybe it's too late. Thank you, Abdullah. Abdullah is bored. So I'm sorry for making you bored, Abdullah. You're free to go, right? I mean, it's a free world. So if you wanted to take off, I know you're just joking, Abdullah. I know probably that's not what you meant. Okay, great. Let's move on. Let's do two more, and then we'll move on. That one's easy. Shake head. Let's skip that one. What's that one saying? And we'll talk about this one for a little minute. There's different ways to do this. So one is with the hand, and then sometimes with a finger, right? You can do the same thing with a finger, or you can do it with the hand. So Abdullah got it. So Abdullah, come on, come here, come over this way, come on, something like that. It can be a little bit rude. So I've heard that if you use a finger, come here, it's rude. If you use a whole hand, it's better. So come here with a whole hand is okay. Some people say you have to do it upside down. Maybe that's another country or culture, but whole hand is better than single finger. If you do this to your boss, I don't think it's going to end well. What's this one? Sneer. When you lift up one corner of your mouth, it's a sneer. It's a very rude expression, meaning that I'm disgusted, it's bad, I don't like that idea, I'm not into it, right? So if you sneer, maybe you're giving, Sorry, I got a text there. I'll check that later. So if you sneer, you lift up one side of your mouth, showing disgust for somebody's idea. So you have to be really careful about that one. What's this one? Oh, wink. Oh, I shouldn't have said. What does it mean? So what does it mean when you wink? So show that one again. You're going to have nightmares about that one, I think. So what is a wink? What does a wink mean? And should we do it in the workplace? Okay, Rodrigo says wink is for approval. I think you mean APPROVAL. Maybe. Abdullah says it agrees, or you agree with him. Showing that you agree, wink. Maybe. Yeah, wink is tricky. Like wink can mean I'm joking, right? Let me lift up my glasses. So, oh, ha ha ha, I'm kidding, I'm joking. So you might be joking, you might agree with somebody, but you have to be careful with winks because it also means, hey baby, I'm interested in you, or I think you're cute, let's go on a date, or wow, I think you're real beautiful, baby. So winking can be very dangerous for the workplace because you can get in trouble. Because if you do it to a coworker or boss, they think that you are flirting with them or harassing them. So I would say don't do a wink at work because you can get in trouble. You can get fired for winking at somebody. So be very careful. Rodrigo's winking at me. Yeah, so it is an emoji. It can mean you're joking, but it can also mean you're beautiful, or I love you, or I'm interested in you. So don't do it in the workplace. It's better to avoid winking altogether. Let's skip. I know there's a couple more. Basically, these were the ones that I showed you. We showed the yawn, we showed a raised finger, we showed shaking a head, we showed beckoning. So there are a lot of nonverbal communication at work that you need to know about. You need to know what you're saying, what somebody else is saying to you. During things like interviews, this is really important because they analyze every little thing, from the way you sit, to the way you fold your arms, to the way you yawn, to the way you stretch, everything. They look at everything and they analyze it, and they want to check and see if you're the right person for the job. So you have to know what these things mean in Canada so you don't make a mistake and you don't lose a job, not get a job because of those things. Okay, we have about 15, 20 minutes left. Let's look at 4 things we might do in the workplace. So now we've practiced nonverbal communication, which is 70 to 90% of communication. Let's work on the rest. So we're going to look at 4 things: greetings, apologizing, asking for something, and reporting a coworker for doing something wrong. First one, let's practice writing a little bit. So how would you greet your boss versus how would you greet a coworker? So imagine it's Monday morning. This morning, what would you say to your boss the first thing when you see them or you go into the office? So would you email it to them? Would you say it face to face? How would you greet your boss? Remember, in Canada, it's not so formal. So don't have to say Mr. or Mrs. and then their last name. Right? Could be Ms. or Ms. That's another story, right? In Canada, some women don't like to be called Miss or Ms. or Mrs., right? So how do you know what to call them? Do you call them Miss, Ms., or Mrs.? It's always better to ask one of your coworkers what to call them. So Rodrigo got the idea. So you might say good morning and then the first name of your boss. So if your boss is Penelope, good morning, Penelope. And then what, right? Do you continue? Do you say, how was your weekend? What did you do? Or do you just stop and say good morning and then you keep going to your office? So is it different from a coworker? Edwin says, hi, good morning. Usually we make some type of small talk with your boss, right? You might ask them, how was your weekend? You don't want to ask too many questions, right? You don't want to say, what exactly did you do? What did you eat? Who did you spend your weekend with? What did your family do together? Is everybody healthy, right? You want to ask a few questions to show that you're interested, but not too many questions that you look like you're being nosy. And Abdullah says, hello is enough. Maybe, you're absolutely right. Depending on the workplace, what's your relationship with your boss? Maybe just hello as you're passing them is enough. So it's really tricky. It's something you have to think about. So Luis says, I prefer to be so formal for my boss and semi-formal for my coworker. Mr. Name is example, good morning with my coworker, hello. Maybe instead of what is it going, how is it going? Okay, I get exactly what you mean, Luis. So with your boss, what I would do is see what other people do, right? If everybody else says Bob and you say Mr. Smith, maybe they'll say, okay, Luis, please call me Bob, right? So you can ask them how you want them to call you, or you can ask your coworkers and see how they do it. But I agree with the idea. So the idea is that bosses should be a little bit more formal. Boss, manager, supervisor, all of them. And then you have your coworkers. But your coworkers are not your friends. So boss, in terms of formality, boss, coworkers, and then friends. So never think that your boss is your friend. You know, they might be, but you'd still have to be careful about how you address them, how you talk to them in the workplace. Okay, so lots of good examples. Good morning, how was your weekend? Something like that, but keep it short and professional. Let's move on to apologies. So imagine that you did something wrong. You're worried you're going to get in trouble from your boss. So how would you apologize to your boss for coming late? So you arrive late, look at your boss, he's angry. What would you say to your boss? Would you email? Would you call them? Would you talk to them face to face? How would you apologize and what would you say? You can write out a short little email, so maybe a few sentences. So definitely apologize. So Abdullah got us started. So sorry, I am late. Okay, that's a good start, but I don't think it's enough. Your boss wants to know why you're late, right? Did you sleep in? Did you miss the bus? Did you stay late at a restaurant? So really, it's important to explain. First, say sorry. So absolutely say sorry or I apologize. But why? Why? What is the reason for you being late? Maybe one time they allow you not to give a reason. But in my experience, most cases, they want to know what's going on so it doesn't happen again. So give a reason why. So what's the reason why you were late this morning, Abdullah? I'm very disappointed. What is the reason you were late to my office this morning? Okay, we have some comments here. Okay, Luis says face-to-face. If it's possible with a short explanation, also it depends on the kind of boss you have. Exactly, I agree with that. So face-to-face is usually better when you do something wrong or bad, because they're able to read your body language, they can see how sorry you really are, and it shows more effort than just sending an email. So face-to-face is great, depends on the thing, and you need to have a short explanation. Abdullah, that might work. Sorry, the road was crowded. Okay, let's say traffic was bad. So the road was crowded maybe, but let's say traffic was bad. Probably I would say something like that. But it's the same idea, exactly the same. So great job, Abdullah. Great job, Luis. Say sorry. Always apologize. Don't blame somebody else. Don't say it's my wife's fault, or it's my dog's fault, or it's my child's fault. You are responsible for coming to work on time. So if it's traffic, I mean, you say maybe, I'm sorry, I was late, traffic was bad. Next time, I will leave earlier. Okay, so you're showing them that it will not happen again. So, sorry, traffic was bad, I will leave earlier tomorrow, it won't happen again. And then maybe you want to offer to do something extra. So, can I stay after work for a few minutes to help you? Or is there anything else I can do today? So, showing them that you're sorry and you want to make up for whatever that you did. Okay, great. Let's move on. All right, here's another situation. So you want to ask your boss for something. So in this case, how would you ask for a day off? So maybe you want to take a vacation day, sick day to go to the doctor. How would you ask for a day off? So what would you say exactly to your boss? Would you do it by phone? Would you do it by email? Or would you do it face-to-face? Here, I'll give you sort of a formula. Okay, so this might be useful. So when you're thinking about talking to or writing to your boss, you say, you know, good morning, good afternoon, the name, and then this expression, I was wondering if I could, blah, blah, blah. I was wondering if I could leave early to go to the dentist. I was wondering if I could take 3 days off next week to spend time with my family. So this can be very useful. I was wondering if I could, and it's very polite. It's very useful. It's very polite. And this is a very common way to ask for something, right? Could be a day off, could be going to the doctor, could be even a raise, right? You might ask for more money. I was wondering if I could have a raise because I've been working so hard lately. Okay, so Abdullah, may I ask, I think you meant ask, for a day off tomorrow. Good, awesome, that would work, except maybe please. Please always works, please always greases the wheels. So, may I ask you for a day off tomorrow, please, because, again, they like to know why, especially if it's short notice. I mean, if you book vacation 2 months or 3 months in advance, no problem. Usually you don't need to give an explanation. But if it's within a day or two, they usually want to know why. And, you know, if it's something that can wait, they might ask you to wait. If it's something that needs to be done, they might let you go if you say please. But good job, Abdullah. Face-to-face is better, and explain what's the motive. Good. So motive means like reason. What's the reason why you're doing it? Very good, except this time you wrote my instead of may, but it's all good. I know exactly what you meant, Abdullah. So something like this, right? Good morning. I was wondering if I could, right, have a day off tomorrow because my mother is visiting me from Venezuela. So that's a good reason, but they might wonder, why didn't you ask me before? Why didn't you ask me last week or 2 weeks ago? But anyway, be polite. Face-to-face maybe will work better. Telephone might work better than email. You have to think about all these things to be able to get what you want. Finally, last one, reporting a coworker. Okay, so let's say that you had a situation where you saw a coworker break the rules, maybe steal something, maybe treat a customer very badly, maybe swearing, saying something that was racist, or harassing somebody. How would you report a coworker for breaking the rules at work? Something like this is probably usually better in writing. So you want to keep a record of it, because if that's going to be used for the person later, right? If they're going to have a meeting with a manager or human resource person, they want some evidence. And if it's written down in an email or in a report, then it's probably better. But do you tell on your coworker, right? Maybe you're friends with that person, and if you tell your boss, they'll find out and you'll get in trouble from them. But if you don't tell them, you could lose your job too, right? If your boss says, you knew that Fred was stealing mangoes from the grocery department, and you didn't tell, you knew that he was stealing the mangoes and you didn't say anything, maybe you could get in trouble too. So let's say, so Luis says by email using some dedicated channel with a very clear detail. So that's really important. So email is good. Use a dedicated channel that only that person will see, and give very clear details. So like I said, say what happened, what did you see, when was it, where was it, who was there. All of those details you want to include in an email. And don't be shy. You're probably not going to get in trouble for telling the truth, right? As long as you tell them what happened, you probably should tell a boss, it depends, right? If it's a very little thing, let's say my coworker, Rita, took an extra long break. So instead of a 15-minute break, she took a 25-minute break. I'm probably not going to go tell my boss, right? It's not a big deal. It didn't affect me. It's her problem, right? If she gets caught, she gets in trouble, really has nothing to do with me. But if it's something major, like stealing, discrimination, sexual harassment, racism, that type of thing, breaking the law, doing drugs, that type of thing, we do want to report it, and we want to make sure that we do it by email so our boss will get the full story. Okay, great. So pretty much we're out of time today. I just wanted to get an introduction to Canadian workplace culture. We had a good discussion about workplaces in Canada and in other countries. We learned some vocabulary. We looked at some nonverbal communication. So shrugs, putting up your finger, and we learned a little bit about why it's so important to learn about nonverbal communication. And we also practiced verbal communication. So how would we greet our coworkers or our boss? How would we apologize for coming late or some other situation? How would we ask for something like a day off? And how would we report a coworker for doing something wrong? So unfortunately, that's pretty much all the time that we have today. Just to remind you, my business name is called Right Start Newcomer Services. Check out our website, send me an email, say hi, say what's going on. And if you have any English questions, think about me, send it to me, and I will try and help you out with that. So guys, that's pretty much it for today. I want to thank you for coming. I want to wish you a great day. Hopefully the weather's nice there, and I will see you again on Thursday. So Thursday morning, we're going to have a great lesson, and I will hope to see you there. Okay, bye guys. Have a great day. See ya.